Hate the Olympics at all. I don't. I don't. The NBA playoffs have started, but not really. While the NHL playoffs are right around the corner, we'll recap the MLB season thus far. We unveil our initial fix of six, and we discuss our listeners' questions. Shameless plug to smash that subscribe button. Cue the Dave Matthews because we're gonna crash into the weekend with box scores and bourbon.
Look at the box scores.
Box scores and bourbon.
We check each other's box scores and scores online.
Baseball, box scores.
So football, baseball, basketball, soccer, hockey.
Box scores and bourbon.
Did you hear about the joke that Stevie Wonder and Helen Keller's kid? No? Well, here it is. Angel Hernandez. This man is so bad at his job that it is mind-boggling he still has it. Less than a week ago, Rangers stud rookie Wyatt Langford was called out on pitches so far off the plate that even Javi Baez would think twice about swinging at them. This man has to go. And what makes this more laughable is that this is the man who sued MLB for racial discrimination because he was always passed over for umpire duty in the World Series. Here's the secret, Angel. It's not racism. You suck at this. You probably couldn't call correct strikes if Jose Altuve himself was hitting trash cans as a cue for you. And the mere fact that you haven't been fired, Angel, is proof that you have MLB by the balls, allowing you to continue your reign of incompetence. And if MLB doesn't grow some balls soon, you can rest assured Angel Hernandez will eventually call an egregious strike three in the biggest moment. Manny, I don't know if you saw the video about Wyatt Langford striking out.
I saw.
But that was crazy.
Saw.
3 straight
Yep.
pitches. Three straight pitches.
I saw
Just wow, wow, wow. Strike three. It reminded me, I don't know if you're old enough to remember this, but there was a movie series called Naked Gun based off a police spoof show called Police Squad. Leslie Nielsen played a detective, Frank, starts with a D. Frank Durbin, I think it is. One of the movies he plays, he's trying to get answers from the prison or whatever, and so he ends up becoming an umpire, and he realizes when he calls balls every single time, people get mad at him, and then when he calls strike, everyone was like, yeah. So that's Angel Hernandez. I feel like he thinks everyone's cheering for him. He's Frank Durbin behind home plate, shaking out dirt from his pant leg while he's trying to get out of prison, just calling strikes.
So I saw a clip of this guy. I don't know if you've heard of him. I think I've showed you clips of him before. John Boy. He does like lip reading for the baseball games, and he does like scenes in baseball or sports as a whole, and like goes over them or breaks them down. Well, I saw him break down those 3 pitches. And he brought up, I can't remember what system is used. It's like Umpire Pro or something that tracks how much umpires miss or what their strike zone really looks like. And he said that based off of that system that tracks umpires' calls, those calls were, one of those 3 was the worst that they have ever tracked as far as missed call. It was, I want to say it was 4.5 5 inches off the plate. It was insane. Yeah. The next closest one was 6 inches off the plate, and that one was worse. But that one wasn't him.
And that was probably his. He probably broke his own record. It wasn't him.
Sadly,
it was probably him.
No, it wasn't. I was looking to see if it was him. I wish he was gonna be the Steph Curry of umpire bad calls. He was gonna keep breaking his own record.
Good Lord. I don't know what's worse, him missing calls or Clay not being able to make a shot against Sacramento. That was, man, I got to tell you, though, when they said, here's a segue for you. We're talking NBA now. When they said that, when they asked, is this dynasty dead? I thought it was dead. It was the same reaction I had when they said Blake Griffin retired. Like, he didn't do that already?
Yeah.
Like I thought, like I haven't heard or seen from this man in ages.
He was the 15th
I thought the
man
Golden
for the
State
Celtics for a year.
dynasty was
Yeah.
dead. He was just chilling.
He was.
But I thought the Golden State dynasty was dead the moment that they brought Draymond back. I thought that was the worst call
Which
ever.
year? Because they brought him back a
Because
few
all
times
you-
when I don't think he should have.
The last time. The last
So with
iteration.
his current contract, you
Yeah.
mean when they signed him for a current contract?
This
his
current one,
deadweight
yeah.
contract?
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, besides them signing him to a dumb contract, Steph Curry himself willed them into another championship. So that was like the epitome
He
of
did.
wrapping up the dynasty with a pretty bow because he finally got his NBA Finals MVP, which everybody was judging him for not having one, even though he had everything else in the armoire. So, but yeah, that was
But the way they played this year, they limped into the playoffs.
Yeah.
They limped.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was just, I mean, look, if it wasn't for Sacramento, I'd say that they were the worst of the play-in teams. But because Sacramento just, it's like they thought the season ended at the in-season tournament or something. Like they just stopped trying. It seemed they would go up all these points in the third quarter and they would just stop playing.
I foolishly let myself believe that the Warriors were about to build something good for the playoffs because they won like 8 of the last 9 games. But I forgot that the teams that they're playing were actually teams that had already been eliminated, so they weren't really playing for anything. So I was blinded and fooled by the record and by the trends. Never again.
Yeah.
Hey, we are starting off on the wrong foot, JB. We're backtracking.
Oh, that's right. Hey,
we are going to correct our mistakes. Cheers. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, my brother.
Clink.
Cling.
So back to the playoffs. The play-ins are kind of wrapping
back
up,
to the
right?
Playoffs. Tomorrow is
tomorrow's the last of the games.
The Bulls in Philly. Tomorrow's the Bulls, man. Wow. That was something. Who was that? Who was that kid? Kobe White?
Yeah.
Kobe Pepperjack White.
I love that guy. He's such a humble man.
Dropping 42.
Yeah.
Man.
That's his.
Oh, wow.
You know what's crazy? He hit a season high, career high. He had a career high in points, but it goes nowhere because they don't know where to put the stats for the play-in tournament. So it's just
It should. The play-in should be regular season.
It should be
because they're saying the playoffs don't start till Saturday. Well, then what are we doing for a week?
There's games.
What are these 4 games?
I will never understand that. I don't understand how they're doing that.
And then the stupid play-in the stupid in-season tournament. Oh, only the first and last games don't count. Why? That's just so stupid. Oh, Adam Silver's such an ass clown.
Have you ever heard of any other sport doing any type of game happening where they say, but the stats don't count towards anything? I've never seen that before. I just can't get over it.
No, I've never. I mean, when you get to the playoffs, they only count toward playoff stuff. In college, it all counts toward the player's career because
they only play for a year.
Shelf life. But in the pros, it's always been, all right, we'll start playoffs. These don't count anymore. The NBA, the regular season's over. You're going to play 2 games, but the stats don't count for anything. Wait, isn't the play-in for the playoffs? Yes. That's a good question, Timmy. But no, because the playoffs don't start till Saturday.
So is it regular season? No.
So am I getting paid for this week? We don't know yet. We'll get back to you on that one. Like, what's happening?
Read your contract. Read your contract. I don't have to sit here and tell you what your contract says about your pay. It's like beating around the bush for any
points
questions.
Don't count, but I'm getting paid to play basketball. That's after the regular season, but it's not the postseason, which I thought postseason was, hey, after regular season.
Don't tell that to Zion Williamson how no stats and nothing matters because he just shattered his freaking
That dude played a career game. Oh
No,
my goodness.
no,
Oh.
not a career game. The stats don't
Ah.
count.
Ah. He did it for nothing.
That's a bummer.
For
That's a
nothing.
bummer.
The moment he left and he was limping, I was like, where are you going? Tape it up and get back out there. You got 2 minutes left.
That sucks. When it happened sucks more than
Oh,
the fact that it
man.
happened. Well, he's out for 2 weeks, so I don't see how the Pelicans, they have another game to try getting into the playoffs. I don't see them without him beating anybody, really.
I don't either.
That's rough.
I don't. The only way that they win on
I want to,
tomorrow night.
yeah, or today.
It's tomorrow night. Yeah, tomorrow night. No, they're both on Friday. So the Bulls and Philly play, and then it's New Orleans
Oh
and
yeah,
Sacramento.
yeah, you're right.
The only way I can see New Orleans beating Sacramento is if Herb Jones plays out of his freaking mind. If Herb Jones plays out of his mind, then yes, I could see, because I think CJ is going to do CJ things. I think Ingram's going to do Ingram things. But if Herb Jones plays out of his mind, then yes. Which I still have a bone to pick with him.
Oh yeah.
Why didn't you just go for the layup? Why are you trying to be fancy? You would have been up by 2. By 2. I don't know if you know this because it's in between the regular season and the postseason, but the point scheme still plays.
They still matter.
If you have more points than the other team, you win. I was like, what happened? He had a wide open lane. No one was in front of him.
For those people that are listening and don't know this, JB is a New Orleans fan, anything New Orleans, so the Pelicans really resonate the pain in his heart.
Man.
Anything that happens with them is going to dig deep into that
After
scar.
they were down by 18. They were down by 18 at one point. And then they just came storming back. They stormed back like AD after he shaves his unibrow. Just comes
That's
back.
never happened.
They
prove it.
They just, well, why isn't it? Why isn't it?
Prove it.
I feel like I've seen old men with eyebrows, and I'm telling you, those things wave at you. Okay, so
he must.
If he's not shaving,
I am not convinced.
If he's not
he's
shaving
trimming
it.
He just gets a little.
He might be trimming it. I don't know.
Keep it present because it identifies him, but that man's never shaved it.
I wonder if his barber just. I wonder at what point his barber just gave up asking him, "Hey, AD, do you this thing in the middle? Do you want that shaved?" Like, at what point did his barber just stop asking?
Don't touch it.
I told you last time.
A few years ago, he posted an
an
April Fool's thing where he posted a picture of it's gone.
Yeah, and he shaved it. Yeah,
God
I saw that.
That was funny. But why are you saying? Why are you not putting
yeah.
more weight on Brandon Ingram having to carry his weight to be competitive in this next game? He was non-existent. He was non-existent. You're not saying he's the.
That's because Zion took over. Zion took over.
Imagine what could have happened. If
Zion played out. He played out of his mind.
No, I get that, but there's never. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's been times when two players play out of their mind and completely dominate a game. What happened to that? He can also dominate on his part of the. There's a big court. The court's pretty damn big. There's one ball, but the court is big. You can still dominate. He got 40 out of 108. So don't tell me that Zion did all the work, because everybody else was doing something, and everybody else but Ingram was doing something.
First of all, New Orleans only had 100.
No, sorry, 8-6.
So don't insult my intelligence by pretending you watched the game.
2 more points.
Don't pretend you feel my pain.
I watched.
Pretend.
I watched
the highlights.
I watched
after the game when Scott Van Pelt talked about it.
My guy, SVP.
No, so I do have New Orleans beating Sacramento. I do. I really do. The last time, it's not the last time New Orleans played Sacramento, they owned them.
Was Zion playing?
And
yes. Let's just put that out there.
But he played terribly. He played so bad.
Have you heard about how players' presence affects the game just by their presence, because they have to account for them? They don't have to account for Zion.
I know they don't. Well, they just have to throw him out
Just
there.
have him stand
Just put him
under the rim.
Just do this, okay? No one was standing under the bucket for a rebound. Zion just play 4-on-5 on one end and 5-on-5 on the other end. And just have Zion get the
He's
rebounds.
gonna break the record for
every
most
3
rebounds.
that we missed.
That man can't jump right now.
I'll say this though. I'll say this though. He doesn't have to. He's 8'3". I'll say this. If Clay would have been on his game Tuesday, I feel like that game would have been different.
I agree. My key to the game was Clay.
He was 0 for 10 from the field. He was 0 for 6 from 3. That's even if he makes 5, that's 15 points.
I know.
That's what that's 118 to, if the score stays, that's 118 to 109.
Yep.
But I feel like a few of those, probably a handful or so of those points Sacramento scored were probably breakaway points from Clay missing it and them just getting the board and shooting to the other side of the court.
Yeah.
I feel like that game would have been that game was a lot closer than the score said it was.
And yet the Warriors are done.
Because it wasn't like Oakland went all out. They didn't go all out.
Golden State. Don't you dare call them Oakland. They're not even playing in Oakland.
They're Oakland.
Anyways.
Oakland. They're the Golden State Warriors of Oakland. It's like when the Angels were the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
I do remember that.
What are we doing here? What is this?
What breaks my heart about the Warriors is that Klay Thompson is probably done with the Warriors, and they're gonna keep Draymond Green because nobody wants his stupid contract.
No. Steve Kerr already came out and he spoke from his little sissy mouth that Klay Thompson was going to be coming back. He's a sissy. We all know this. He's the only man in the 60s who still gets highlights. So who does he think he is? Guy Fieri? You're not Guy Fieri, Steve Kerr.
He's stuck in the 80s and 90s. Leave him alone. I've seen tons of people doing that.
Guy is way cooler. I feel like Steve Kerr's that guy who's still trying to outlive the shadow from the star athlete in high school. Like he can't shake Michael Jordan. He's still trying to be. He's trying to be better than Dennis Rodman. Now, he's just trying
to be crazier.
He's holding on. That's why he's got that 90s hairdo. He's holding on.
Focus, JB.
He's holding on to something.
Tell me what Steve Kerr said before you keep bashing him.
Well, Steve Kerr said, with his girl mouth, that Klay Thompson was coming back.
Yeah, but Steve Kerr's not the one that cut the contract.
No, he didn't say that. He said Klay was their guy. They want Klay back.
Yeah, they're gonna try.
I think Klay's coming back.
I don't think so.
He's coming back. If you have to choose between one or the other, you get rid of the friend who you invite to the house party, and you say he's super chill, but he just breaks every lamp over everyone's head once he gets to the house. That's Draymond Green. Get rid of the dude. Just get rid of him.
I've been over it with him.
He's the only guy that plays half a season, and he's never hurt. He's just suspended. If they had a penalty box in the NBA, he would break all the records.
He's broken all the records without it. He's got the most suspensions, the most freaking fines. He's broken every record you could think of.
He would break all the records.
I honestly think he is the parasite in that organization. For as much as they say he's the heart, he is the parasite. Every time that he's on the court, he brings more drama, and it's not even worth what his product that he's putting out there is. He puts up 4 or 5 points, but there he is screaming in everybody's faces like he's dominating the game. I've been tired of him for a few years now, and I hope that he's the one that goes and Klay comes back, because Klay has been nothing but like the stellar athlete that any organization would want to have. No drama, accepts when he's wrong, accepts when he's struggling. No, he puts his pride aside, like all the right things.
Like Klay Thompson.
Yeah, Klay Thompson. Yeah. So I hope that Klay does come back, but everything points at the fact that he might not. They have so much dead money or such big contracts sitting around, including Chris Paul, which is another one that I'm not too sure what they're going to do with, because they owe him I think it's 25 or 30 mil next year. And well. Anyways, let's get into what else we're noticing for the playoffs, because we talked about your Pelicans. We talked about my Warriors. Your Pelicans are still in it, barely by the pinky toe. And
look, and honestly, it doesn't matter because it's going to be Boston and Denver in the finals. It
that is
doesn't
a common
matter.
trend.
Which we did have a listener chime in. Okay, we had a listener chime in and ask, would you take the money and pick the Lakers over Denver in
No.
6?
The money line? No way.
Yeah, I asked him. So when he asked the question, I asked him back. I said, why would you pick that? And he said because they're not playing back-to-back games, and Denver's such a young team. LA's got all the wily veterans on it that if they have an extra day of rest, the Lakers could be able to pull it off.
They have a day of rest in between now and then. They don't have No, I'm not sold on them.
You don't play any back-to-backs in the
I
NBA
get
playoffs.
But that's the same situation that happened last year, and they dominated them. If anything, the Denver players are 1 year older and more matured into the playoff process.
I know.
Yeah,
no, and that's what I said. But they also asked, can we see the in-season champion becoming the NBA champion?
I'll tell you.
Will we ever see that? And I said, well, you won't see it this year.
Definitely not.
It's not happening this year.
There's two things that the NBA as a whole is clamoring for. One of them has been brewing and probably more likely to happen, which is somebody from the play-in playing their way into the championship and winning it. That one I can see happening soon in the next 3 to 4 years, just because of how the teams end up stacking up, and then the in-season tournament becoming the championship too. That one I see unlikely because a team that plays that hard for that championship is probably going to be gassed out by the time the actual playoffs come around.
Yeah. Well, it's still going to be Boston and Denver.
So, but
it's going to be one of those two teams.
We picked this. We've been calling this matchup since January.
All since January, since the first pod. And we've been saying
the Celtics they never lost momentum, but they have been scaring me with some of the losses they've been taking. I don't know if they just mentally checked out.
I think part of that is just, what are they playing for? They were up by I carry the one a bajillion games in the East.
Yeah,
I think they clinched the number 1 seed by December.
They clinched it.
And that's how dominant they've been.
Right after
they've been so dominant. It's like, what are they playing for? The fact that they won 64 games is astonishing. They kept balling.
Yep. They ended up finishing 14 games above second place, or second seed, I should say. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's crazy talk. And if it wasn't for OKC owning the tiebreaker, Denver would be the number 1 seed right now.
That's true. Well, that's not why. Denver still had a chance, but they lost to the Spurs at the end. They had a chance.
That's what I'm saying. OKC on the tiebreaker because they have the same record. They have the same record. OKC had the tiebreaker. So, and it doesn't help
you
when
lose to the worst team.
Your team, Pelicans, lose to the Spurs. How does that even happen?
I don't know.
Greg Poppy the Troll Popovich over there, freaking willing his team to win, freaking telling the Eiffel Tower, hey, take the orange sphere and shoot it in the peach basket.
Some matchups are just like, they're not built for certain. Like, some teams match up really well with other teams and they'll beat you every single time. For some, you could be the worst team in the league. There'll be that one team that you match up really well against, and even if they're a champion, you'll get them every time. And Wembanyama's a beast.
Yeah,
that's another part of that. It's not just the matchups. He himself.
is. Oh yeah.
I was watching a clip of just his defensive highlights. God, I'm pretty sure his arms are my height. That guy can block something from midcourt. It's crazy.
That dude, he's taller than an oak and weighs less than an asparagus, but that kid is he is fun to watch. He is fun to watch. He's got Yao energy, but he's talented. Like it's something special. I mean, I watched a handful of Spurs games just because they happen to be on, and I'm like, oh man, this kid is
he's something.
Kid is
yeah,
good.
he's something.
He's gonna be.
He's
something.
athletic, which is crazy for that size.
Mm-hmm.
His defense is on point. He's never not on the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then as the
Yeah.
season went on, he started developing his perimeter shooting, his 3-point shooting. Oh,
Yeah.
What are you gonna do when an 8-foot guy is shooting a ball from 10 feet up in the air without even jumping?
Mhm.
You can't defend that.
San Antonio thought they were blessed to have the Admiral and then Tim Duncan.
Yep. Wait until they build around this guy.
Wait till this kid. Wait till they get a load of him.
Yep. The only
to quote
here's what I'll say
the best Joker ever.
Shame on the NBA if he's not the defensive player of the year just because he's a rookie. I know that the trends are that a rookie is like, in his rookie mode, he locked up rookie of the year, but shame on the NBA if they don't give him defensive player of the year because he definitely deserved it by a big margin.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And we'll see. I'm excited for the second preseason to be over so we can get to the playoffs.
And I know you bashed me for picking my the wagon to latch my horse onto when we were making our teams to watch, but I'm gonna pump my chest either way because my good old the Thunder locked up the number 1 seed and they were my team to watch.
Yep, they were. Brava or bravo,
but,
bro.
Hey,
yeah, and that guy.
I hated you on your Magic's pick because that was your team to watch. They never fell out of that spot. They held steady.
They didn't.
In their fight.
I told you they would. Actually, this is what I said, and I even self-admitted this. I said the only way Orlando falls out of this spot is if their net rating gets the best of them, because they had like a 0.8, and it was and I was like, that's not sustainable. It's just not. But it's a blessing they play in the Eastern Conference, because with that they're the 5th seed. Now they're playing Cleveland. I don't feel good about them playing Cleveland. I don't. I think Cleveland's a really, really good 4 seed. Like this 4-5 matchup does not seem close at all. It just doesn't to me. It really doesn't. Here's the thing. I feel like Cleveland. I honestly feel like Cleveland could win this in 4.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. But here's the thing about the Eastern Conference: none of those teams really are besides the Celtics are really some like flashy dominant team. If you look down across the board,
no, they're not. But Cleveland, they grind. They are grinders.
But I'm just saying anything could happen on that side of the bracket because all the teams are squished together. Yeah. You have the Celtics, which ran away with the conference, and then you have the Knicks. Who would have thought the Knicks were going to finish with the 2 seed? The Pacers fell all the way down to the 6 seed. The Bucks are whoever the hell the Bucks are trying to figure out who they are. Then you got the Magic, the Cavaliers, and then the 76ers.
Whoever the Bucks are going to be without
Giannis. That's exactly my point. That was another.
And I feel like honestly, I feel like that's why they gave Drew that contract right before the playoffs started. Because they're like, Drew, you're a guy. It's up to you.
Because Giannis is not.
It's up to you.
He's not trustworthy. What are you getting at here?
Because Giannis isn't Giannis still out?
He's definitely out.
The opening, yeah.
But they still got.
That's what I'm saying.
Got Dame. They still got Lillard.
I know they do, but Dame's on old tires.
He's still dominating.
Drew, he's still but okay. Here's my theory. I feel like Dame is going to be a lot like Chris Paul has been the last several years in the playoffs, where Chris Paul would go on these he would go on these runs and then he would just go quiet. I feel like Dame's going to be that way, and I think I honestly believe that's why they gave Drew that money last week. They announced the contract with him last week. They gave him, and it was a max extension. They are telling Drew, you are our guy. You have to go out there and you have to be the man for Milwaukee. You have to be.
Well,
and I gotta tell you, as a Pels fan, I wasn't sad when AD left.
No,
I wasn't. I was sad when Drew left.
Interesting.
I was really sad because I loved watching Drew Holiday. I love it. First of all, I mean, he spells his name with a J, and it's just so cool. But yeah, Drew, but his play, he's just this ball of energy.
He is.
I mean, like he has everything you need him to be.
He is another one of those hearts of the team without needing to control the game.
Yeah.
And he also has the ability to control the game. But what I do disagree with you is on whose time it is to shine. Because with when Giannis was in, they were trying to play this like control the inside with him and him and another big. Now that he's out, I think Lillard will fit into that offense a little bit more, and he'll be able to dominate.
I hope so. I mean, that's why they went and got Dame in the first place. That's why they.
But their play styles were
because
they were clashing. Their play styles were clashing. So now that he's out, I feel like Lillard will fit perfectly into that offense, and he could easily control.
We'll see.
As long as he steps up.
We'll see. Dame and the problem with Dame's not used to playing second fiddle. He's just not. And so when you put him on a team, when you have like the second best player in the NBA beside Jokic, and you put him on that squad, and you say, "All right, Dame, I'm gonna need you to be 1B."
Yeah.
It's like, no. Dame don't do that. Dame drops records. I'm a rapper for shizzle. It's probably what he said.
He is a rapper.
I wasn't there, but it's probably what he said.
At some point, I'm sure he said it, but he's used
He's
to carrying a team. He carried the Blazers
Portland
forever and made them even a little bit relevant. So I used to carry.
And then even after CJ left, even after CJ went to New Orleans, Dame was still. I mean, Dame took it to the next level.
Yep.
He was like, "Hey, I'm still here. I'm still standing. I'm still strong. I'm still
standing
for Sizzle."
Yeah. Sorry.
He needs to put that in his new rap.
Bet you that's going to be his walk-up song whenever they're introducing him during the series, and I'm going to love it. What else are we watching
Boston
on the playoffs? Because let's talk about the Western Conference, because we have the Nuggets,
let's do it.
Lakers. We talked about that. The one intriguing one is the Mavericks and Clippers, because Kawhi once again is playing. Well, his body's again not working for him, and he's out again.
Yeah.
Without Kawhi, I don't think the Clippers are going to do anything.
This is going to be the lamest series ever.
You think so?
I'm not excited to watch this one. Like, I know I said the Cleveland-Orlando one is so uneven, but both those teams, I can watch both those teams.
Right.
No problem. But Dallas and the Clips, it's like, oh, all right, let's get it over
I feel like Luka by himself will make that series really good, because that guy can also ball.
I hope so. But Luka's so hot and cold. He's so hot and cold.
Yeah, but his colds aren't cold. They're like lukewarm.
They are cold in the worst moments ever. The worst moments ever. He is just like, he just shuts down like an exhausted wife, and the husband just wants to fool around, and she's like, no.
Well, that's probably because he is exhausted. He's the only good player on that team. Again, the one player that's making the team relevant.
I get it, but thrive in that at least. Thrive in it. Be the guy. I get the sense he doesn't want to be the guy. He doesn't want to be the guy.
Well,
I think Dallas would be the perfect place for Dame to go to, because because Luka would be like, "Yeah, F it, take it out there. I don't want it."
That's true.
Like, that would be the perfect place for Dame to go to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not excited about this series at all. The Clippers, they're always going to be the Clippers. And the Mavericks haven't excited me for, I don't know, 15
They
years.
have not?
It's been a long time. Yeah, since I've been excited to watch Maverick basketball. It's been a long time.
Really? You know, I'll give credit to Dallas.
Yeah, I'm just
Kyrie seems to fit really well into that culture. He hasn't caused any beef. He hasn't caused any drama. Like, he's just been playing, and people almost are to the point where they're forgetting that he's on that team, and he's being productive with that team. I feel like they could.
No, and that's great. And it probably helps the fact that he plays in Dallas.
Yeah.
Like Dallas basketball is so weird because you have Dallas Cowboys football, you have the Texas Rangers, and then you have the Dallas Stars, who I'm going to get to
Number
in a
1
few
seed,
minutes.
baby.
But then number 1, I know. But then you have the Dallas Mavericks. It's like,
no, what do you mean?
I feel like Dallas is that team every single offseason when they said, all right, you can poach the free agents. It's the only team where people, I'll sign with you. And like, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to leave. Like no one, like Kyrie, it's the perfect place for Kyrie because Kyrie probably messes up on the daily off the court and no one knows. No one hears about it.
Maybe.
Because it's Dallas.
Too big of a Cowboys shadow. The Cowboy star casts too big of a shadow.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe.
But then the last matchup that we haven't talked about is the Timberwolves and the Suns. What do you think about that? I think the Suns.
Yeah, go Suns.
Huh? Yeah.
Suns.
Okay.
Suns all the way. I know the Timberwolves are the 3 seed. I get it. But I'm still not sure how they got the 3
Yeah,
seed.
they're like one of the most underwhelming 3 seeds. At least
I don't even know how it happened.
Yeah. On the East, on the Eastern Conference, it was like a grind. The top 3 teams were killing it all the way through, and then somehow the Timberwolves kind of just snuck into the 3 seed. Probably because the Clippers got hurt.
No, Phoenix is going to win that series. Phoenix is going to do what Phoenix does every year. They're gonna make a deep playoff run, and they're gonna just lay an egg in the biggest moment.
Are you calling it? Are you calling your matchup?
That's what
are you going to call your matchup for Nuggets versus Phoenix in the Western Conference?
I might. Yeah. Would it even work out that way? I'm looking at it right now.
It get to.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't.
No, they would play the next round.
Phoenix and Denver would play for the semifinals.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because I still have, because that Clippers and Dallas, like OKC's gonna run through either Sacramento or New Orleans. They just are. Okay. I'm not so much of a homer where I'm gonna sit there and say, yeah.
Well, if Zion comes back, we don't know how long he's out. They're saying he's out for a couple of weeks or whatever. If Zion comes back, what I said about the Thunder early on was that they struggle when there is a dominating big man, and he is that. But again, that depends on if he can come back.
He is not a big man, but New Orleans is they are too inconsistent. They are too inconsistent. They rely too much on the 3.
Yeah.
They forget how to play small ball.
But so
sometimes.
do the Thunder.
They forget. Case in point, Herb Jones not going for the layup. Like, it's freaking right there. What are we doing? Whether it's Sacramento or New Orleans, OKC's going to beat them. I don't see Dallas or the Clips giving OKC a run for it. And for the record, I think the Clips are going to beat Dallas.
Interesting.
I think that's going to happen. Without Kawhi. Without Kawhi. Until I see something from Luka.
I've seen enough from Luka for many years to be confident that he could, without Kawhi.
I've seen enough from Luka for many years in the regular season.
I've seen him in the playoffs dominate. He didn't have
seen him dominate.
Cast.
But he dominates less often than he just stops.
Yeah.
I've seen It was the playoff series against Memphis, 2 years ago? Where he's just walking. He don't even run. He's just walking. Like Memphis, they missed a 3, and then they get the ball. Dallas gets the ball back, goes back to the end of the court. Luka didn't even make it past the freaking a midpoint.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I think they'll get through them because
What are we
the
doing
Mavericks and the Clippers have been matching up in the playoffs almost regularly since the bubble tournament, where the Luka helped them get one win on the Clippers. I think this is the year that Luka and Kyrie finally get over the Clippers. And I'm not gonna sit here and say they'll do anything past that, but I think this is the year that they get past the Clippers simply because Kawhi's not there.
Yeah. So, look, for the Eastern Conference, let's wrap this up so we get to the NHL. For the Eastern Conference, because NHL, their bracket's not even done yet.
Have 3 days
for the Eastern Conference, they wrap up their regular season tonight. Tonight's the last game. So Eastern Conference, I got Boston over Cleveland in the semifinals. And I got the Knicks. No, I got Boston and Cleveland semifinals, and I got the Knicks and the Bucks in the semifinals.
Okay.
And then when we get to the semifinals, I got Boston over the Knicks. In the Eastern Conference Finals, I got Boston over the Knicks.
Interesting.
There. And then for Western Conference, I got OKC going against the Clippers in the Western Conference. I have the Suns and the Nuggets. That always seems like a fun series.
It seems like
I got the Suns and Nuggets. I got the Suns and Nuggets in the Western Conference semis, and then I have OKC and Denver in the Western Conference Finals, and then Boston over Denver in the finals.
I could agree with I think I have the same thing no, I don't have the same thing on the Western Conference because I think the Mavericks will beat the Clippers, and then it'll be Thunder Mavericks, and then the Suns will beat the Tims, and then the Nuggets will beat the Lakers. So then it'll be Nuggets Suns, and I'll take the Nuggets, and then the Thunder and Nuggets will match up in the conference championship. So a little bit different. I don't know that it's such a wild card because I don't know if Embiid is actually fully healthy. He doesn't look like he is. If he's not, I'll take the Knicks all the way to the conference championship because the Bucks without Giannis. Yeah. So that's the problem that I'm having. Embiid is back, but he's not fully back, and they're saying Giannis might come back, but we don't know. If he does come back and he's fully healthy, because they're saying it's just like a small strain, then I could see the Bucks making it to the conference championship. But without him, then it could easily be the Knicks versus Celtics, and I'm going to be shook because the Knicks don't belong in any conference championships. But Celtics will beat them.
The Knicks have been fun this year.
I know.
The Knicks are fun.
I know.
They're fun to watch.
Props to them because they have had like the team building to lock up a 2 seed without a marquee all-star player. They don't have a flashy name for being a New York team, and they're the 2 seed. So kudos to them.
Yeah.
So are you going to take the Celtics? Did you say you're going to take the Celtics over the Nuggets?
I got Yep. I got Boston over Denver in the finals. Yeah. And I think that goes 7 games.
Interesting. I don't think the Celtics have what it takes to.
I don't think it's not going to be a close series. It's not going to be close, but I feel Boston's just too good. I feel like even if it goes 7, they're going to find a way to pull it out.
I have a feeling this is the last couple of years of the back-to-backs. The Chiefs have been going back-to-back. Well, I guess that's really the only back-to-back that I can really reference right now because baseball's not having a back-to-back as far as I'm concerned. But I feel like the Denvers can go back-to-back. So I'm going to take Denver over the Celtics because the Celtics continuously show me that they are lacking something that just can't help them get over the hump. So I'll take Denver over the Celtics. and then they're going to blow it up because they're going to call it quits and they don't know what the hell's wrong with the Celtics.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. No,
but time to talk about.
So let's shift to the NHL.
Yeah.
I'm ready to talk about the superior sport. So I'm looking at it right now. The Western Conference is pretty much locked up.
They're all pretty much locked up. I think everything is just seeding, right?
It's seeding, but in the Eastern Conference, Detroit has a chance to get in over the Capitals. So they're the first team in. So and then you have Washington sitting right there at the last seed. They're the first team out. But looking at it now, because I don't know exactly how they're going to seed this, I have the Rangers winning it all. I just do. I know there's been talk that Carolina is probably the team to beat, but and they credit it to, so it's the inverse for both teams. So for Carolina, their D line is superb. Almost nothing's going to get through there. I mean, they're absolutely gonna just open a can of whooping on you. But their goalie play is suspect. It's really suspect. With the Rangers, their defensemen, it's something to be concerned about if you're a Ranger fan. Trouba is getting older. He hasn't really. It doesn't seem like he's found his footing since he's come back. And then you got Braden Schneider and you got Keandre Miller, two young guys on there, and on that D line. And so, Igor Shesterkin, that dude is a beast. If it wasn't for Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews this year, Igor's hands down the MVP. Hands down. That dude has been lights out.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to the big moments, you want to be able to trust your goalie. You want to be able to trust him. You want to be able to know that whatever is being shot at him, he's going to stop. He's just gonna. And so and the way the seeding is looking, it looks like the Rangers and Carolina will play in the Eastern Conference Championship. It looks like they'll be the 1 and 2 seed. Yep. If that's the case, they'll meet each other. And so I have the Rangers going over them, and I'm torn between Dallas and Colorado.
Really? Dallas is. You're back on the Colorado boat?
I was on the Colorado boat 2 years ago when they were in the finals.
But the year after that, you were not.
I wasn't. No, I wasn't. No, they just look like a different team. They look like this year they look more like they were in 2022. And so,
they were hurt. They were hurt a lot that year. So that
they were hurt. They were very much so. Yeah. So, but Colorado looks very much like the team ready to run it back like they did 2 years ago when they took it from Tampa. But and I don't know what the seeding is right now. I'd love to see a Dallas, Colorado, the Western Conference Finals. That would be awesome.
That would be fun. That would be fun.
Vegas is really making a run now.
Vegas they are.
Last year.
Bring it all back. They were out of it for a while.
They were. They really were, and they turned on the Jets. And they've definitely made a run for it.
Heck yeah!
But so Vegas is a team that I would watch out for when it comes time for the playoffs. But right now, I got the Rangers winning it all. I do. I want to see the seeding first. I want to see who Dallas and Colorado have to play because one of those two teams is going to have to come across Vegas, and I want to know which one has to go against them. I feel like if Vegas play Dallas, Vegas has the edge. I feel like if Vegas play the Avs would have the advantage in that one. So we'll see what happens. But again, like I said, Shesterkin he is unbelievable to watch. I watch the Ranger games just because of the goalie. Like I love watching that dude. Just he takes a beating too, and
Yep.
man, he is something special. He is something special. I mean, Connor McDavid's going to win the Hart trophy this year. It's going to come really close. It's going to go McDavid, Matthews, Shesterkin. I feel like it's how it's going to play out. McDavid's just playing out of his mind this year. But yeah, I have the Rangers taking it all, but I won't know the seedings until tomorrow after the regular season wraps up tonight. Yeah.
Well, I'll leave the player assessment more to you because you analyze hockey way more in depth than I do. I more look at the teams as a whole instead of focusing on players. But as far as Dallas being the number one right now, they've locked up for the most part. My bias for Dallas makes me say bring in a championship to Dallas no matter where it comes from. So I'm hoping that Dallas does something and can make it all the way to the cup. But I don't think you're saying that the Golden Knights can possibly do something. As much as I love the Golden Knights, I don't think they have enough to really be competitive. It'll obviously depend on the seeding.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't. Yeah. It very much does. I mean, Vegas is going to come in here as it's more than likely the 7th seed. They're going to be the 7th seed in the Western Conference. And if it ended today, if it ended today, they would be. Let me look at this. They would probably be set up against Vancouver. No, Vegas would be Vegas would be the 7th seed. And it looks like if it stays the same, they would go against Vancouver. And so and I haven't tracked as much Vancouver hockey this season, so I can't really give an assessment.
It's Canada. Who cares?
On whether or not that would it's Canada. It's Vegas. Who cares? So
whoa, hey, uncalled for. The thing I would say about the Golden Knights is that if they can get healthy enough, if a team that's good, if they can get healthy enough, if they sneak in as a low seed, nothing better can happen for that team because they'll match up really well against good teams and they can make a good push. I don't know if the Golden Knights really have that going for them.
Yeah.
But deep down, I'm just gonna rock with Dallas going all the way to the Stanley Cup. And that's what I'm gonna say about that.
You got Dallas winning the whole thing?
Heck yeah, man. Like I said, bring a championship to Dallas no matter what it takes. And I don't count the Texans because I don't like
no matter what.
Miss me with those Texans.
All right, so let's get to I know we're going to talk about the MLB, but you want to get to our news segment? I feel like our news segment's going to hit on some MLB as it is.
Heck yeah!
So you wanna get to our news segment?
Heck yeah!
You wanna
introducing?
You wanna dial us in?
Yes, we will be having our breakdown of what has happened in the sports world in quick blurbs, and we are dubbing this your Fix of 6. So let's jump right into what is going on in the sports world. First off, I got Aaron Judge tying Derek Jeter in Yankees home run record. 6th all-time in Yankees home runs with 260 home runs. Who would have thought that Aaron Judge would already be at that level? Killing it right now.
Who would have thought Derek Jeter at 260 homers?
Considering how often he's been hurt. Yeah, true. My next pick for the week, Olympic rosters were announced for the NBA. And I'm telling you what, since the days of Kobe Bryant, we have not had a better stacked roster for the Olympics. I was tired of all these no-namers, or sorry, mid-namers participating and the All-Stars sitting out because they were too good for it. But now, let me read you off the list of who we got going on. We got LeBron James, hasn't played in the Olympics for 12, 16 years, something like that. Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Anthony Davis, Tyrese Halliburton, Devin Booker, Joel Embiid, crazy sneaky one, Joel Embiid playing for the U.S. Jason Tatum.
Surprised he's even, yeah.
Yeah. Jason Tatum, your boy Drew Holiday. And Ban Adebayo and Kawhi Leonard wrap up the roster for the Olympic lineup. And finally,
all right, what's number one?
Turn off the music because there is some sound required for this one. My third fix of 6 for you all is going to be that my guy John Sterling had decided to retire as the announcer for the Yankees broadcast. After how many years did he go? I lost track of how many years he
went over 50 years.
It's
a long time.
So
it's a long time.
On the fact that he's retiring, I'm going to broadcast his last call as a Yankees sports caller.
And the pitch hit in the air, the deep left, it is high. It is far. It is gone. It's a grand slam. Non dimenticare. That ball sure traveled far. Giancarlo. He hits a grand slam deep in the left field seats. And the Yankees take a 5-1 lead.
So very well fitting that his last call was a grand slam by Giancarlo Stanton, which is trying to rebuild his name as an all-star dinger. And those are my 3 fixes for you all. JB, what do you got for us?
I got number 3. I got Primetime over in Colorado. When Primetime came over in his introductory press conference, he said he was bringing his Louis Vuitton bag, so don't get comfortable. Well, I hope he didn't get his luggage stolen because it looks like this might be the last year that he's in Colorado. He's got Shador and Shiloh, his sons, DMing prospective prospects to come to Colorado, which is fine because it's the new wave of college football, and Deion's already said, I'm not going to your house. You're going to come to my house. And all the work that Prime did to remake this roster last year, it's all for naught now because even the best lineman they got, he just entered the transfer portal. So I hope Prime's bags didn't get stolen because I don't even think Colorado is going to match their 4-win total from this past season. I'd say they get 3 wins, maybe 4. Number 2, since the beginning of the regular season of Major League Baseball, UConn men's basketball has more wins than the Chicago White Sox. And UConn hasn't played in 2 weeks. And the White Sox have played for 3, and they are averaging a win a week.
That's right.
So at this pace, they'll probably win. At this pace, they'll win 22 games. So I don't know what's going on with this team. Build a new ballpark, relocate the team. I don't know, throw it in Lake Michigan. I don't care. But this team, I really hope Chris Getz is doing something with this franchise to make it better. It is not looking good right now. And then number 1, Jonte Porter, you should have had an interpreter. If you had an interpreter, you would have been banned for life from NBA basketball. Look, Shohei had an interpreter, and all he had to say wasn't me. You could have used the shaggy defense too, if you just pretended you didn't know how to speak English. But this is my problem. Shohei goes up there, he loses $40 million from his account, and he doesn't question anything from the one guy he hired in order to speak his language. and no questions were ever asked about what's going on. So, Jonte, I'm sorry. You should have had an interpreter. And that wraps up our initial fix of 6.
Love it. Love it. That is everything that happened between last time and this week. Everything major. Nothing else matters. That is the most important sports news that could hit your ears.
This is what we've decided was important. And we have
with
our
arbitrary
blessed your ear holes with it. Speaking of the listeners, I want to address our first whatever happened to blank on this pod's episode. We're gonna do whatever happened to David Johnson, David Yards after the Kerry Johnson, who played for the Arizona Cardinals way back in the day, the Arizona Football Cardinals. Well, I got to say, it was really hard to try to figure out what's going on with the man. I can say this. After he left Arizona, the Saints signed him for a little bit. I'm a Saints fan. I don't even remember this. And so he was with the Saints for a cup of coffee. And the last I heard was he was the running backs coach for Florida State. Yeah. So
there you go.
Our listener Mondo, there you go. That's what happened to David Johnson.
I love that. That is a great person to follow up on. Sorry, David Johnson, you couldn't have a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
That's going to do it. What are you drinking, JB?
Yeah. I am drinking a Dewar's. I forgot the bottle downstairs. I'm drinking a Dewar's 12-year. So it was double aged in a bourbon barrel.
There you go.
And it's extremely smooth. It's
nice.
Really. They said they aged it for smoothness. It's definitely smooth.
Nice.
What you drinking?
I didn't forget my bottle. I bought myself a bottle of Old Forester.
Old Forester.
Have you ever had Old Forester before, JB?
No, but it's on my list.
It's not bad. It gives me a hint of the chocolate smell. The taste is very full when it comes to what you're tasting. A lot of the oakiness, a lot of the fire to the mouth kind of taste, but there is that hint of chocolate that transfers over to your palate. So it's not bad. If I had to rank it, it wouldn't be on top of my list. The bottle that I was drinking previously of the R&R Reserve, that one is still by far my go-to bottle recently. But this one is a good second one. It's been enjoyable. What are you smoking?
For this week's episode, I'm smoking yet another Mayflower. This is a Double Toro Dusk. It is a very full cigar. I get every single. I did it with the little V cut, and it I get every ounce of flavor from this one. It's delicious.
I'm not big on full cigars. Really good. Full flavor cigars are not my thing, but that label is really cool.
No, this is cool. Yeah. So the guys that invented this decided to pick this label because it kind of symbolized, and they named it the Mayflower because of the tobacco that came on the Mayflower.
Oh,
and so this is So how Europeans really kind of brought in the wave of just tobacco use when they found pre-America. So, but this Dusk it's very spicy. Not very spicy. It's got a good kick to it though, but not so much where you can't enjoy it. It's very good though.
Well, that's not too bad. A full flavored but a spicy is not up my alley of cigars, but I know it fits right up in what you look for in a cigar. So kudos to you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. For all the listeners out there, hey, we treated you right. Okay. I want you guys to go in the YouTubes, smash the subscribe button, as the kids say these days. Go on the YouTube, follow us, leave us a comment. Go on the TikToks at BSB Sports 24. Leave us a comment there. Like the videos. Follow us on Spotify. I'm still working on trying to get us on other audio platforms, but your boy isn't nearly as tech savvy as he once thought he was. So, but follow us, subscribe. Yeah. We'd like to hit 100 subscribers on the YouTube by the end of the year. So let's go ahead. Let's pass this around. Let's pass this around. Let's get to 100. We'll have a celebration stick. We'll have a celebration sip, and we'll have an all around good time.
Heck yes. And like always, cheers. Thanks everybody. Have a good time, and we'll see you on the other side. Peace out.
Stay thirsty.